been doing British accents like all day because we just finished The Neighbors. So if it slips out, it slips out. There was a time people were pressuring me to do accents on my channel, and I was like, that is so embarrassing because I don't really know what the guidelines on accents are, you know? Anyways, what's up? What is up? I want to know what's up because shit just seems a little funky, a little wonky, a little bit outright ridiculous lately. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. And we'll also do some tarot, but I have no idea what tarot would anybody request or want to do. Let me know if you think of something. September. It's like, what, the third day of September? If we want to look at like a September reading, we did Virgo season, but we could do September something. Maybe I'll bust out zodiac readings like I did last time. That could be cool, and I feel like I've been saying it a lot. After the first time, I was like, I'm gonna do it again, and then I didn't. It was 11111 when I said I was gonna do it again. So maybe that's a sign that I should, you know? Either way, we're gonna do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. See what's up, see where we're at. Okay? So, I was feeling a bit down the past few days. Last time I streamed, besides earlier tonight, which my makeup video is actually me telling creepy paranormal visual stories. First one's probably the best one. I went in chronological order instead of like intensity order because I personally couldn't decide which one was the most intense, but the way I told the first one definitely like clearly was the most intense one. But yeah, since I was kind of sick, took a few days off, had the sniffles, turned into a bad cough. Hence why I'm like, let me use this guy. Plus we kind of match. You wouldn't get it. So what should we start with? I think I'll separate the zodiacs out of the Thoth deck so that we can do zodiac readings tonight before I just start bitching. Because I don't want to talk to myself, quite frankly. Oh, while we're at it, while it's still early, and while I see a little beef adventuring, let's just roll one. And unfortunately, no, I don't mean a joint. You know exactly what I mean. Hello again. So yeah, I think goal will be to do some zodiac readings. Golly. I don't know why I'm shuffling these, but I feel like I just have to every time I use them. Or perhaps we can look at a few card pulls before I take 12 cards out of the deck. We can do that. One reading before I separate the zodiac. Let's see where we're at. I guess we can call this like a September reading. I don't know. I feel like I'm here too much to do the whole fucking monthly forecast. This is just whatever we need tonight. Whoever's going to be here, whatever we're about to do, this is what this reading is. You know what I mean? It's for me and you. It's for us. It's for whoever might watch this, you know? I'm not going to restrict it to a time limit. Even though these videos only last for so many days. And I think somebody's about to get paid, that's for sure. Hopefully me. Oh. Who cares, man? Who fucking cares? How much would you care about something if everyone else didn't also care about it? And I think that is going to be tonight's contemplation. Holy shit, I love that concept. How much? Because for me, it's none at all, and I know that. I know that in my heart of hearts, because once people start caring about the shit I care about, I'll move on to something else that needs my love. I'm a very non-competitive person, and we live in a very, like, capitalism in general forces us to compete, but a lot of people are competitive, you know? I think it's just because I'm a fixed sign that, like, I never really excelled in sports, and I never wanted to brag about, you know, being smart, or I guess, like, I couldn't accept that my skills were difficult for other people. Mind-boggling concept, because I'm like, oh, well, English is easy, literature's easy, reading's easy, writing's easy, and it's like, it's not easy for everyone. You're downplaying yourself. So if everyone liked that subject, would I even care to have done it? But that's why people don't like it, is because they're not good at it. It's not because it bores them and they're not challenged, you know, it's because they don't like it. So I was like, okay, I'll read, nerd, whatever, you know, have some confidence. How much would you care about something if no one else cared about it? Such as money. Some people are super driven and motivated by money. I'm a realist, and I know that to live in the world that I live in, sure, I need it. And I don't even have that much, because, like, once again, I cannot be bothered with the thought of how to make it, how to get it, how to keep it, how to spend it, you know? I guess I have an idea of what I would do with money at any increment. But at the same time, it's hard to focus on that. So if nobody cared about it, would it still be relevant? Money's pretty, I wouldn't say abstract, it's almost like too concrete of a subject. Popular music. I'm so happy you're here. You're an Aries though, right? That makes sense. Like, yeah, I believe you. Not everyone can say that though. Completely agree. And I have some pretty strong Aries placements, so that still checks out. Plus my birthday month I share with Aries, so it makes sense. And yeah, even things like appearance or even taste, like, ask yourselves, all right? And I'm not gonna doubt anybody, even though I slightly doubt. Was Game of Thrones really that good? Or was everybody just really into the hype of being able to talk about one unanimous television show? No, I haven't seen it. That's why I'm like, I guess I'll believe y'all. But, like, I don't think it's that good. And so there's been so much television that is so underrated that it's like, man, if everybody was watching it, you'd watch it and you'd like it just as much as anything else that everybody watches and likes, right? And that's why, to me, nothing that is being sold can really quantify as the best. It's simply what's available. It's simply the first choice. Like, just because you have the highest numbers, like likes, listens, whatever it is, has no correlation to you being the best in your craft at it. You're the most popular. And what did we learn about popular kids in school, right? Ain't none of them really that cool. I'm kidding, but that's like the old trope, right? There's no introduction in choice. There's always been a choice. But that's the thing. Some people are easily influenced, right? And others are not. Same with like even trends are like extremely competitive, right? Because you want your video to have the most views, or like you're proving that you can do it better than someone else, or you're like inspired, I guess, but really essentially just copying, like assuming you could do it better, or like your video will be more popular, you know? And like that's the thing. Kate Bush's music was always good and always kind of mainstream. It's not like no one ever heard of Kate Bush until Stranger Things. Everyone knew who Kate Bush was, and they were like, you know what? It's just not my thing. High pitched voices and shrieking women and witch rock, like everyone kind of knew who she was. Granted, the younger crowd, for sure, probably never heard of her. But Kate Bush's music has been featured in TV and films since she started making music. And depending on where you are in the world, right? Who doesn't know Wuthering Heights? You know? If everyone didn't care about it, would anybody still care about it? Yeah, some of us. That's what we just discussed. But you got to ask yourself what you care about so much, and whether or not you care because someone else does, or you care because you genuinely care about it. Thanks. That's so nice. Well, I was kind of bored. Sometimes I get those silent viewers, It's probably just some of my friends who are too busy to like tune in and listen, but still want to support, and I appreciate them. But I like when people talk to me too, because I don't want to sit here and feel like I'm having a conversation for one. It's awkward. I tried a one-man podcast briefly last year or this winter, whatever. It didn't really go so well because it's kind of boring to listen to one person talk, unless it's like this. You can see them maybe talk back. And of course, yeah, I wouldn't put my podcast on Anchor, so nobody listens to it. I was like, I listen to podcasts on Apple. Like, cool, I'm not an Apple bitch, all right? Consider me Snow White, because I ain't eating that shit. Boom. Or did she? She did. It doesn't matter. You get what I'm saying. The bottom of the deck just now also was Three of Swords, which is sorrow. So like heartbreaks, endings, but things not being completely devastating. It's more of like a temporary sadness. But then I just cut the deck, and Four of Discs is now on the bottom of the deck, which is power. But then I cut it again, and it's Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups. What Pisces just walked in the room? Because honestly, there's always a Pisces. And out of the 5 of you, at least one of you must be. That's just how this channel is for some reason. Knight of Cups. Right there. Wow, universal hexagram. Lucky y'all. Queen of Swords. Wow. You know what this would indicate to me? The femmes doing the work and minding their fucking business, and that working out for them. Being able to know where they stand emotionally. Look at the growth of the feminine since we last spoke, which was like a week ago, okay? Keep in mind, like a week ago. Let's see how much growth. 6 of Cups, very feminine nature. It's literally like a yonic symbol to me, in my opinion. Don't know, don't care. We've got Princess of Wands, so this is like the beginning of an emotional journey, right? Especially for our feminines, because it's a princess. Femmes would be water signs and earth signs, or women femalining energies, or whichever you side with most. You can check your chart, see your percentage, which dominates, if you don't know in your own situations, how you'd be represented. So this is the beginning of the journey, right? And the reason we've taken that journey is because we've got it all figured out. 6 of Swords. We're putting our best efforts in. We're working as a team. We kind of see how this is unfolding, and we know exactly what to do. And boom, Knight of Discs, it pays off, or that man comes right back for you. A man in touch with his feminine side, too, because we've got the Knight with the discs, and discs is earth, which is feminine, right? It could also be the feminine stepping into her masculinity and realizing she needs no man, so to speak. Thank you for the new follow. I bet you're Pisces, right? Ace OG, baby. Okay. Two Swords, peace. Coming to terms with the fact that you can be your own boss, you can be your own person, you can take care of yourself, ladies, femmes, however you want to call your alignment. And that's how you gain emotional maturity. That's how you better understand and conceptualize your own feelings, right? Now, to go back to what we were talking about before I was doing the reading or in between cuts there, with like how much do you care about something if no one else cares about it. I think part of this lesson or exercise is to realize that maybe what you were seeking you wanted because it was desirable, because many people wanted it, you know. It's hard to put a narrative on it when it feels like everybody's having their own separate breakthroughs and there's nothing maybe even physical that happens to trigger a period of growth or to move things for you, towards you. Hearing a few different things. I think I'm gonna take 1 minute. I feel like I was talking. Yeah, I was telling my top visual paranormal stories in my makeup video today. It was kind of fun. Definitely went in the wrong order. The first one's the best. Like I've said that several times already. And then even since I've been on here for almost 20 minutes, I wasn't really like doing any tarot. We were just chatting. I was just bullshitting. I was just letting it flow. But now I feel like I'm tapping into something, and there's a lot of cards on this table. So before I get too deep or too, I don't want to call it wishy-washy, I'm gonna take 60 seconds, get in a good place, make sure the ads don't auto roll on us when we're in too deep, and I will be back in a minute, if you will. So please stay with me. We've got a lot going on this evening. Okay, I'm back, baby. All right, so back to the thick of it. So there was like a sidebar journey, kind of the moment of emotional growth. Something that happened almost in a flash, because here's the thing. We went from the beginning, well, the end of July, beginning of August, to being this like whole Lionsgate business. Wherever you fall on it, wherever I fall on it, it's like the wishing well, right? So opened up and made our wishes. The femmes were much more thought out, prepared, and presented, I think, than the masculines. Again, don't restrict yourself to gender if you can't figure out what role you are. I wish people read my rules before they talk to me. Appreciate it. Try not to interrupt. Just appreciate that you're here. Take whatever you want. Got cards on the table. I'm sorry. It's just like sometimes nice and sometimes I'm not. Stick around. You'll get what you need. Ask Cassie Dick. Anyways, you were my 101st follower also. I'm sure we could work that into the evening, but right now we're just doing like this, whatever this is. So since this wishing well portal, whatever you want to call it, opened up in August, right? It closed. We gave it a week, didn't see any results, and then moved on. And take what you can from the experience, right? Where it's like I put myself on the line, I made my deals, I had my negotiations, my offerings, my resolve, my plan, my dream, my passion. I threw it all in. Hey, maybe nothing came back out again. Maybe it's not supposed to happen in an instant. But it's also about not just putting the time in, but letting the time pass, and going with the flow of the seasons where, sure, we had this nice peak summer energy, midsummer, right? A Night's Dream. And we were hopeful that we would see it in action immediately, even though that's very much not like our energy, feminines, right? I was assigned cat at birth and I'm a Taurus, so double femme energy there. Even if I more identify with fluidity between them as a person, right? I know I'm the femme energy when I do my readings because I'm double femme. So the femmes were like, great. I wished it didn't happen. Now I'm moving on. That's why there was this emotional growth that took place since then, basically. That's what the princess through queen story was about. Ooh, lovers. I accidentally picked up. That's Gemini energy, if we got a Gemini here. Something that happened, if you are Gemini, something that happened over the last couple weeks, about the last month, may have not been like something that perceivably happened, like literally or physically happened, but there was I don't want to say a shift in energy because that sounds almost too simple or cliche, but there was a significant change. And once again, it's this emotional growth that came from deciding what you want and then immediately letting it go. Because most things don't happen overnight, but especially if you've been coming towards something or wanting something or putting your effort into something, and during that time in August, you were like giving it your all. Leo season is like shoot your shot time. Have a ball, right? Like we were all having fun, just throwing it out there, what we wanted, dreams that we had, whatever. And we saw nothing of it. And so we were like, fuck it, quiet, backed off. Okay, that's what I'm getting from this. But because we did that, because we put ourselves out there and maybe we got rejected or felt rejected, it was enough to sit back and say, you know what? I'm glad that didn't happen. I'm fine on my own. I'll figure out a different way. I am whole. I am what? I am who I am and I am what I need, right? Otherwise, I wouldn't be me. If I actually needed anyone else, I wouldn't be myself, right? Of course, there are so many exceptions to that statement, but it's just the most broad sense, right? And maybe if you do feel like you need someone, you have yet to heal or address whatever certain wound would leave you feeling empty alone, because if we spend too much time alone or too much time with ourselves, of course, there's going to be those marks of loneliness that we assume can be filled by another person. That would be my best guess on that, whatever it is. Moving on. Top two cards, Two of Discs, change, and Five of Swords, defeat. So, no matter what you change, it's always going to be a stalemate. No matter what your new approach is, no matter what you do, no matter what you think or no matter how you come at it, it's always forever going to be what it is, and it's going to be a stalemate, and that is it. That could be about anything. It could be a relationship, a job, if it's a relationship and you feel like you're in a dry spot, it actually might just be dried out. If you're at a job and you kind of feel like, you want a raise or to get out, it's probably more likely that you get out. That money situation doesn't seem to be changing. You'd be surprised what's out there waiting for you. Aquarius energy, so that's the only two zodiac cards I recall seeing were both air. Gemini and Aquarius, the lovers and the star. But the star is about focusing on yourself and making your own decisions. It can also be things taking you by surprise. But the moment you do shift into the fact that this is supposed to be enjoyable for you, what? The entire human experience. It's definitely supposed to be enjoyable. I mean, I don't know where we get this idea that we're made to be miserable or work rats and warring and policy or whatever the fuck. It's very bizarre. And I'm not suggesting by any means that anybody ignore these things going on in the greater part of the world, but to some extent, you do just have to focus on yourself. Princess of Swords, or someone else will, or something will come interrupt you, and things are just, you know, not going to work out the way maybe they're supposed to or the way you want them to until you realize that you are all you need, right? Bitch, I feel like that's such a sorry excuse because my whole thing is genetically, biologically, physically, we are clearly a species meant to be in packs. So I am not really fucking vibing with the message tonight. I will be straight up honest. So if somebody is vibing with it or also irritated by it, it's probably meant for us. This came up. So 5 of Discs, worry. Like if you're worried about money, you know that that's not like a temporary thing. Like something about the situation has got to change. The Priestess is there. You know that whatever you're concerned about is a genuine concern. It's not just anxiety. It's not delusion. It's like things may be stable enough now, but it's almost like you know that shit's about to hit the fan. Tower. Because we are starting with the 5 of Discs, I would assume it's about money and career stuff. Shit may be about to hit the fan. But the moon, okay, so back to that Pisces energy. If anybody is a Pisces, it's also like, okay, so what if you lose your job? What if you do lose your job? What if your company goes under? What if you get fired? What if you get denied for the raise? What if you get laid off? Okay. Sounds horrible, sounds really scary. I totally get that. But does it not clear the way for some new opportunities for you? And when that happens, or if that happens, what would you want to do? What would the next job you apply to? What would you change or fix about the job you're in? You know, like what would you go for suddenly if you had more free time and energy? Or who would you tell off, you know, if you knew that you were leaving? Figuring those things out, right? Like if you got a severance package, what would you spend it on? Write it down, knowing what your plan would be when worst case scenario happens, because I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know who it's for. Looking at an Aquarius if you are in the room. But whatever, however you're making your money, it's not stable money. For some reason, drug dealing just popped in my mind, and I am sorry to just say that. I'm just a little surprised to say it or think it, but if you are doing that, then I would stop because you probably can't trust whoever the fuck's on top. I'll tell you that. But just seeing things as a new opportunity, and then boom, the moon and the sun. I think that's great energy. They're like kind of contrasting, but they also work together and cohabitate, right? They exist at the same time, but they don't take each other's energy or, stay center for too long. So just follow the day and reach for the sun is the energy, I would say. And Hanged Man, stick to it. Don't just like give yourself a dream and then when it finally happens, you're like, fuck it, I'm just going to take the same position elsewhere. Like, no, go for the dream. Go for the dream job or apply yourself to something different or change fucking industries, whatever you got to do. Allow this ending that's inevitably coming, that you see coming. It could even, I don't want to say like divorce or anything, but if the job thing doesn't sound right, if there's some other area of your life that might affect you financially, it could even be like somebody bought your apartment complex and they want to raise the rent or something like that. You know you're not about to pay that shit and you better start looking. But all of a sudden you're like, oh, well, if I'm moving, where do I want to live? Like, where could I go? Where am I moving to, you know? It doesn't have to be the job, but it's something centered around money that is the problem. That, once again, you have this inkling about, yeah, I would I would go with that. It is true. A snake with legs. So before an interruption comes and gets you, figure out what you would do in the moment that it hits you, right? So back to this, I saw these cards already. Knight of Cups, water sign, Divine Femme, Divine Mask, Divine Union, the Unicursal Hexagram in the middle, and then the Queen of Swords, air, right? So water, femme, air, mask, knight, mask, queen, femme. So what this is telling me is that anybody coming into union or already in a union right now is very much in tune with one another, and both parties are very well balanced in their own contrasting energies, like femme and mask, right? I don't know. I think that's good. It seems once again like a sidebar thing, but once both sides are balanced in the two energies, which how were they different, right? Maybe we'll talk about that after the tarot reading. Then they come together and find union, right? Eight of Wands, swiftness. It might happen fast too, where you got to think on your feet and just move emotionally and go with your gut instinct. Because if you resist, right, we got double tens in the worst way. Sure, we love to see 10-10. But we have 10 of Swords and 10 of Wands, which is ruin and oppression. So this is like the things around you falling apart and you being completely maxed out emotionally or mentally, right? So to see these together, we do have that third 10, the 10 of discs, which was like the beginning. So that's cool. Triple tens, we like it. But if you are falling apart on the inside, you will see the things falling apart around you on the outside. If you are really stressed, then it's probably because you're in a stressful environment. Like, that's pretty much what it comes down to. And the sooner you realize this, the sooner you will flourish, because the next two cards on top here are the Princess of Discs and the Nine of Wands. The second you start investing in yourself, the second you start putting yourself first, thinking of yourself, or you start planting the seeds that you want sown, okay? Planting the seeds you want sown, that's when you can start pulling back a little, like decompressing to de-stressing. We went from the 10 of Wands to the 9 of Wands. No, it's not a huge jump, but it takes time. It takes effort. It's a lot of wands. It's a lot of emotions, right? And especially because, boom, 8 of Swords, interference. The Princess of Swords kind of is that energy as well. So we already got that one where it's like, if you don't take care of yourself, or even if you do, it seems like, I would say over the next few months, there's going to be almost constant interruptions to whatever you're doing or working on. That's something I kind of sense in a way. Ace of Cups, fulfillment, okay, mental clarity, fresh perspective, and solid mindset. Good to see. Ace of Wands, double aces. We got double tens, double eights, and double aces. Not bad. Not bad. Story's not great, but that's not bad. It's almost like being thrown a bone when you're going through something. But Ace of Wands is like really having control over your emotions. And we saw that journey. We saw that growth at the beginning from Princess to Queen in like a week. Okay? And the Eon. So he's going to be haters to hate and players who play. Don't let them get the best of you. The Eon is just a judge. So whose judgments are you worried about? Not even your own. It's the only answer. 4 Cups, luxury. It'll all balance out and it'll all flow nicely. And you'll be living comfortably once again in no time. Big reveal. Knight of Swords and art. Art is Sagittarius, which is usually temperance, but in this case it is art. So focus maybe on creation and let the Knight of Swords either come to you or take a break from you. It kind of looks like coming at you. Kind of seems like the more effort you put in or the more work you're doing on yourself or for your business projects, etc., creating, this double masculine energy is coming fast, right? Once again, the swords have been heavily interference. Oh, that's cool. Are you talking about this eon? Or are you talking about like eon is in a measurement of numbers? Time? Or is that spelled differently? um, because temperance is sometimes like taking breaks in sobriety. It could be like taking a break from a person. It could be an air sign man. Okay, so not the judge card that we just had. So, bro, you don't even realize how weird that is? Remember I was just talking about judgment? It's the eon. What is the eon is 20? I don't get what you're saying, but I'm obsessed. Are you talking about the card or are you talking about something about the numbers? Because that is so ironic. That's literally what just happened. What do you mean? What do you mean? Bro, do you see this? Literally, after I said that Ace 8, 10, 10, we had... I know my lighting is weird today. It's the eon. It's like too dark to read, but if it's out here, you can see it, but you can't read it. Bro, that's fucking wild. Yeah. That is really wild. The fuck? It was literally the next card after the 2 aces. That is crazy. I love that. So whatever I said tonight is really hitting. And I don't even know if that's a good thing, because like I said, I wasn't really vibing with what I was saying, but I had to say it. So don't let anyone interrupt your flow, because like I said, these swords cards tonight have been very interrupting energy. So once again, we are going to go back to this message. If somebody approaches you during Libra season, fake as fuck, literally there to distract you, literally not the one, do not accept. Libra season doesn't start until like September 22nd, September 23rd, probably the 22nd, all the way until October 22nd. Don't trust it. They just want to fuck with your process. They don't give a fuck about you. They give a fuck about themselves. So, don't fall for it. Libra season? Because look, Ace of Swords, you already know what that air energy really is. Trifling. Interrupting, right? I'm not saying that about all air signs. I'm saying there is going to be a challenging moment. Love that, right? There's going to be a challenging moment in Libra season, and most likely it will come in the form of someone approaching you, especially because so many planets are going into retrograde. It's like X is coming back season, right? If they come back before Libra season or after Libra season, I do think they had the right intentions, where they like couldn't wait any longer and came forward in the next couple weeks, or they took enough time to contemplate it and waited a few months to see how they'd really feel. If they come during that during Libra season, I'm sorry, but it's been a repeated message to just not trust that energy, especially with all these interfering swords tonight. Somebody is just trying to distract you, just trying to fuck you up. You can play nice, you can respond to it, you can see where it goes, but just know that ill-intended. Maybe, I don't think Mercury even goes into retrograde until the 9th, so I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it doesn't end sometime till October. And that's what I mean, that last week of September is Libra season. And that's where you gotta watch it. And then like up until the end of October again. But I was looking at the list, there's like ton of planets going into retrograde, and some of them went into retrograde a few months ago and don't come out till October, and some go in October and don't come out till November, December. Because it's really effectively just a planet moving backwards. I'm not really sure what triggers it in the sense of space or physics, but it's crazy to think that it'll spend so much time doing that. So yeah, you'd have to look again. But I think there's just like those peak times where it's like picks up that momentum and but then we just all kind of get used to it, and then it changes back and you're like, oh, I feel good for some reason, you know. But no, I don't know. I'm not an astrologer. I don't pay that much attention. It has to be brought to my attention that I might look it up and hardly remember, like right now. the Magis. Burp, burp. Called it hard. Called it hard. Fake magic. The only difference, because this deck, okay, I know you're new. If my ace is still here. Oh my god, the fourth ace. I hope you are still here, because yeah, I am mean and I was kind of talking to you. I just didn't want to address it in the moment because I was hoping you stayed. I'm a lover, I'm a child, I'm a mother, I'm a sinner, I'm a saint. I'm not a lot of those things, but I'm a bitch. And I am your hell and your dreams, but I'm everything in between, and you might want it a different way. It's fine. So, Aleister Crowley, when he made this deck, was aware of the fact that the printing press would print 80 cards, and most people, because tarot only has 78 cards in the deck, most people will advertise with those extra 2 cards or have a title sequence. Aleister Crowley decided to design extra cards, so depending on which deck, it's random as far as I know. There's different extras. So in the original copy of this that I had both the Magus and the Magician too, but yeah. And so I just always saw them as interchangeable. And so last summer I was having a spiritual retreat with the White Witch, and she wanted to know about tarot, and it was the first time in I've had this deck since 2013, and it was the first and only time I ever channeled Aleister Crowley with it. But that was for her. He respects a magician when he sees one, I guess, practicing woman. So he came down and laid him out. And I learned that day that the magician is magic and manifestation, but the magus is a warning of a fake, like someone who's fake magic. And that's also because the magician is associated with Gemini and air energy in general very oftentimes. That it's almost like the magus is like an unevolved or kind of like evil air energy. And once again, going back to Libra season, this is not an attack on Libras. It is not to say that every interaction you have during Libra season is going to be fake. That would be an extremely long fucking month. But there is going to be a person or a deal. Like if somebody tries to get you to sign a contract during Libra season, you better think on it, because by Scorpio season, I'll probably come up with a better one and be like, you were right to not sign that. Or like I said, a person. They're in their feelings. It's retrograde. They're going to go back to whoever they were talking to before they were talking to you, most likely. They're just trying to work things out with themselves. You've been warned. If a deal seems too good to be true, if a person seems too good to be changed, honey, it is. But Libra season, right? Because if they care enough to move towards you before then, they simply couldn't wait. And anything after, they had time to contemplate and work their way out of retrograde. So, Queen of Wands popped back out. And a few other things. Yes. Okay, so 10 of Swords once again. Things around you falling apart. Not necessarily you falling apart, but the things around you falling apart. And you standing up and fiercely owning yourself, owning your actions and your emotions, and being in control, taking charge, maybe even being passionate about things, going in full force. But also, once again, Queen, Femme, Wands, Mask. Both energies kind of balanced within. In a power position. We've got 8 of Wands again, swiftness, acting on emotions and acting fast, because the killers are always popping in my mind lately. Is that because I talk to dead people, you think? Or just because I low-key love the killers and think that they are emo? Right? Don't blink, you might miss. That was 7 ain't close in a place like this. Never thought that is somebody told me, right? Anyways, I see good things when you do act on your feelings. And if you are contemplating on approaching someone and you're like, I'll wait another month and do it in October, then you're the asshole approaching somebody during Libra season. You know what I mean? So, Anyway, this shit's bitching at me that if I don't roll an ad, it's going to do it for me. And I'd rather we know when it's coming than be randomly interrupted. So I am going to run that ad. Process this, and then we're going to change tone because the next three cards is Nine of Cups, Happiness, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Queen of Swords. So we're looking good. Even if that was heavy and possibly a little sketchy. We'll be right back after this sweet, sweet commercial break because, of course, what would we be without capitalism, baby? Back again, folks. Don't worry. Be happy. That's all that tells me, man. And just know that if something comes to challenge your happiness, then of course a bit of effort will get you back on track, I think is the other grand lesson of the Queen of Swords, right? God, yeah, things are about to fall apart. I have a feeling it's going to be like workplace for most people, but I also feel like it might not necessarily be within a relationship, but something to do with a man. So it could be a boss, it could be a landlord, like I said, like something about your money. Or it could be an ex, it could be like a parent or a father figure. Anybody who holds any kind of dominion over you, I guess. I just have this funny feeling, but you gotta just stay in your own magic and be your own person because it does work out for you. It's meant to challenge you, but it is also meant for them to see that they no longer have an effect on you because you got your emotions in check. You might be dealing with a narcissist. I will straight up, like, literally say that. It's been such a hot topic of conversation over the years, but I don't know. You got to know when to spot one and when to let stuff go and realize that you can have narcissistic personality traits without having a narcissistic personality disorder, right? And we also have to give people grace that much of our society encourages people to have narcissistic mindsets. So don't just go willy-nilly accuse anybody, but if you know what you're talking about, you know what you're talking about. If you're not seeing any improvements and this wasn't your gut feeling, then, like, of course, whatever it is, right? And that's why it's like, for some people, if it is your boss, it's like, oh, fuck. Like, he's been gassing us up since day one. He's been lying. He's been saying this company has all this money. They don't. Like, it's that kind of thing. Or once again, like a landlord who like buys the building. He's like, I'm not going to change anything. You'll all be welcome here. And then he's going to raise the rent and be like, oh, I'm doing renovations. And it's landscaping so that the outside looks good, but the inside is still shit, right? Attract the right crowd. Give them the same old, right? Classic landlord trick. So, whatever the situation may be, it's not all it's cracked up to be. Hate to project a lover into the situation, but it would more likely be an ex, like coming back seeking recompense or something. But nah. Anybody who's coming through Libra season, or if it is a Libra specifically that you're dealing with, then, you know, yeah. But shit will definitely hit the fan. You're just gonna hold it together so well. I'm already proud of you. Amazing. I love it. Ooh, death. Nice. That's the end of that. All right, so I'm going to pull out the Zodiac cards. Wow, here's 2 and 3 and that's creepy as shit. Should we just go in order? Start with these 3? That was fucked up. That was... I'm speechless. Like, I just shuffled, right? And I think the only 3 Zodiac cards we saw was the Lovers, which was at the beginning, the Star was in the middle, and Arch Sagittarius is the end. So Gemini, Aquarius, Sagittarius we saw. Literally the bottom 3 cards was Death, the Devil, and Lust, which is Scorpio, Capricorn, Leo. So when I do the full set of Zodiacs on here, because I've been trying to play around with how I would do that, because with the live stream, like people are going to tune in and out, and I would just want it to be more up to chance than be in order. So whichever order I find them in tonight, I'm going to lay them out. Last time I pulled them all out and shuffled them and laid them out after I shuffled, but because these 3 came out like that, I'm going to go with it, you know what I mean? So we're just going to go with this order to start, and as I find them, I'll pull them out and stick with that. So, yeah. If anybody has any input on what they want the second deck to be, I can use the Thoth deck, but I just feel like we've kind of been grading with them, so we could add a different deck. Plus the other decks will still have zodiac signs in them. I really liked using the Cosmic Initiation deck last time I did this. It was pretty good advice, but it wasn't super deep, and it wasn't really about anything in particular necessarily. But it was cool enough. It fit well. We could do channeled messages, I guess, for each sign if we really wanted to. Open to suggestion if you want like a quick love draw, or just like I said, the basic thing. It's whatever. The Cosmic Initiation deck is like my channeled angel messages. We also have like the mystery deck, channeled alien messages. Just whatever we're feeling. Work and money advice if we want to do a draw though. Or we can pick more than one. You know? It's up to y'all. It's whatever you want to do. Open to ever. Okay, got one more. Who is it? How quickly could I think it is? Aquarius is there. Aries is there. Cancer, Libra. What's the other cardinal sign? Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, Aquarius, Taurus, Scorpio, Pisces, Gemini, Sagittarius. Oh, Virgo. Wait on Virgo. Making them be last when it's their season. That's kind of funny. I wonder if the Hermit's even in this deck. Where are you, fair Hermit? I don't see the Hermit. I must have missed him, but that's like, that's what you get, Virgo. You get to go last. Try and put yourself first, because it's your birthday when you put yourself first every day, right? Let that be your lesson, y'all. There it is. Okay. All right, it was great talking to you as always. Feel free to tune in at 55 minutes and 40 seconds later on today to get the full spectrum reading of the zodiacs. And have a lovely night. Good luck with everything. Bottom of the deck is the Fool. I love this energy that we're breaking into with this reading right now. Cool. So we've got the zodiacs. We've got the bottom of the deck is the Fool. I don't know. I didn't pick another deck. So I guess I'm just gonna think about this for a moment. I might as well just do a quick ad just because it's quiet around here. Might as well throw one in while we can before I get started. And I'll decide what deck. I'm leaning towards the Cosmic Initiation again, but maybe we'll do a few of them, like multiple card readings. So let me contemplate this for a moment, and you can do what you need to do in this moment too. And we'll BRB together.